Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out, I hope I pronounced this right, Utawarerumono, Mask of Deception. God, that better be the right pronunciation, I've said it so many times already. And this is Atlus's new visual novel cross-strategy RPG, so it got a lot of good ratings on the visual novel database, so I've been looking forward to checking this one out. It seems like a good game based on those ratings alone, but we're about to go find out, aren't we? We can take a quick look in the settings, and this is a visual novel crossed with a strategy RPG, and the two settings are on different screens. So you've got your text speed and your auto text speed. I'd recommend keeping this slowed down if you want your text to come up automatically, because the entire thing come up automatically, because it almost immediately goes to the next screen if you have it all the way up on fast, and you need to be a really quick reader. So that's kind of an issue with that. So you probably just want to keep your text speed around there if you want it to come up instantly, or at least the speed you can read it at. But it's kind of hard to explain, but you'll know if you've fiddled around with these systems before just how annoying it can be like that. And of course, there's a couple of other things you can change as well, including your voice settings. You can turn off all the voices altogether, or you can just turn off the protagonist's voice. And that is the setting I actually kind of like, because hearing the protagonist's voice in this game just weirds me out a bit, and I'm not entirely sure why. For the purpose of demonstration, I'm going to leave it turned on, because not only does he do his own speech, but you also hear his thoughts, because again, he's the protagonist. So I'll leave it on just for the purpose of demonstration, but yeah, now you know that I keep it turned off. And the battle settings are all pretty much exactly what you expect them to be. Unfortunately, we're not going to be going to that for a while, because, as I said, this game is a visual novel. And a really, really wordy visual novel. The game length cited on Visual Novel Database puts this game at 30 to 40 hours, and god, it does feel like that, I tell you that much. My current save game is 5 hours in. So yeah, as you can see there, 5 hours, 20 minutes. And barely nothing has happened. Just for a bit of comparison's sake, there's an anime of this game, right? This game was turned into an anime, and the amount of content I've covered in the game is the first 4 episodes of the anime. It was a 24 episode anime, so, oh man. Now imagine like that, which is like something like 80 minutes of content spread out over 5 hours and a bit. And you can understand just how slow this might feel. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a cutscene that I saved early on. 3 hours, 45 minutes in. Basically nothing happens in this cutscene that's story relevant. So, don't worry about it. There's no spoilers or anything. And I have saved this save file here, which is the battle that I'll be playing, at a point where you're not going to see any spoilers anyway. But, again, it's a visual novel that's kind of comparable to Steins Gate in that very, very little happens at the beginning. So, you've got nothing to worry about if you're worried about spoilers. Don't worry. I can confirm that right now. You're not going to be spoiled on anything. We're going to play a bit of this. I'm going to let it run in the background via automatic, and then I'm going to leave it running via automatic, but I'm going to talk over the top of it, because I'm not going to let this entire cutscene play out. It's going to take like 20-something minutes. So, we're going to load my save data here. I'm going to double check my settings to make sure everything's all fine and dandy. Yep, my voice settings are still alright. Notably, all of these voice settings are around here by default, but I just turned them all up to max, and I'm going to leave them all on max just to make sure that the audio comes through nice and clear for my recording. So, you probably won't even be hearing it at maximum volume anyway, just because of how I edit these videos. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking and let you listen now.
Yoshi! 休憩は終わりだ。そろそろ出発するぞ。おや。おや？お前ら何か用でもあるのか？どうしたものか。
その二人誰なのかな。
こっちが聞きたい。聞いても何も話さないんだ。
荷運びをしてるってわけでもないし。
そうだろ。いかにも怪しいって思うよな。
わかった。 荷運びをしている男衆の子供ってとこかな。
そんなざっくりでいいのかよ。
ま、いいんじゃないかな。特に害があるってわけでもないし。ああ、そうそう、ルルティエを探しに戻ってきたんだった。ルルティエ。
なんだ、こっちを心配して戻ってきたわけじゃないのか。道が荒れてるってこういうことか。これはもういいか。何を聞いても答えが返ってこないし、何考えてるかわからんし、もうあれこれ気にしても無駄な気がしてきた。にしても暗いな。
なんだか不気味でおじゃるの。こうも不気味だと昔読んだ絵巻物を思い出すでおじゃるよ。昔々とある奇人が旅の途中、森の中でそれは美しい女と出会うという話なのでおじゃるが、実は女の正体は森に迷い込んだ人をかどわかして食らう世にも恐ろしい脱ぎそむ神で、恐ろしや恐ろしや。
脱ぎそむ神、あやかしみたいなものか。
ハク殿は怖くないでおじゃるか。
いや、特に。
そうでおじゃるか。
話としてはありきたりな上に内容を説明されただけでどうやって怖がれと。
すまない、助けてくれないか。
どうした。
荷車が溝にはまって抜け出せなくなってしまったんだ。今仲間が助けを呼びに行っているんだが、それを待っていたら日が暮れてしまう。すまないが荷車を押し出すのを手伝ってもらえないか。
ありゃまあ、そいつは災難だったな。よしてめえら、荷車を押し出すから何人か手伝え。
つまりマロロが言ってた脱ぎそむ神ってあんな感じか。
にょ
さっきの話だ。ああして言葉巧みに近づき、油断したところをガブリとしてくるんだろ。
大変でおじゃるよ。
いや、本気にするなよ。あんな感じかと聞いただけであれがそうだとは言ってない。第一可愛くはあるが絶世の美女って感じじゃないだろ。
そう言われればそうでおじゃるな。ちょっと可愛いくらいで全然美女とは違うでおじゃる。いやいや、ほんと美女でなくてよかったでおじゃるよ。
どうしたい姉ちゃん。
いや別に。本当に助かる。厚かましくて申し訳ないが、もう一つだけ頼んでもいいだろうか。
おう、行ってみな。
ならばお前たちの荷物を置いてってくれ。
はあ？
お前たちの荷物を置いてってくれ。動くな。
ひょえ、何人が。
取り囲まれてる。
ハク殿。
マロロも両隣の二人もっていない。
へえ、やるじゃねえの。
安心しろ。 我々の目的はその積み荷だけだ。おとなしくしていれば手荒な真似はしないと約束する。それとも無駄な抵抗をしてその娘たちを危険にさらすか？
ルルティエ、クオンのことか。
しゃあねえ。おめえらもだ。いいか、余計な真似はするな。おとなしくしてりゃ何もしねえって言ってんだ。言われた通りにしてやろうや。
そこの2人、お前たちもだ。
こりゃ仕方ないか。もうなるようにしかならない。言われた通りにしてしばらく様子を見るしかないだろ
うな。何してる？お前もだ。
マロは
こいつなら何も持っていないぞ。
おお、アク殿。
下手に間をついて向こうを刺激させないためだったんだが。
いいだろう、お前たち。
それ、両手後ろに回せ。
にしても賊に襲われないんじゃなかったのか。こうして見事なまでに襲われてるんだが、手荒な真似をするような連中でないのがせめてもの救いか。
いや、さすがのすり。見事な手際じゃねえな。
うん。
うほほう、こりゃ上玉じゃねえの。程度だってこんな上玉はめったにいねえじゃんよ。決まりじゃん。この女は俺様の門に決定な。
こいつ抵抗しなければ積み荷を持っていく以外何もしないとか言っていたが、所詮は盗人の口約束ってことか。
おいてめえら、縛り上げた連中の身ぐるみ剥がすの忘れんなよ。
まずいな。
Alright, I think that's enough of the visual novel side of things. Just for the moment. There is a little bit more to show you, and I will skip ahead if I start to sound like I have nothing left to say, because there is a little bit of a 3D system going on that they actually use to tell parts of the story before the actual battles, as well as, you know, lead into the actual battles, because they all work on the same 3D engine. So, might as well talk about this part now. So, this is your basic amnesiac falls into a brand new world story, more or less. That's the entire point of the plot so far. And the 5 hours that I've spent playing this have literally just been getting to the biggest city in the place. That's the entire plot, and it's more or less slice of life, general Japanese slice of life, anime style stuff, with a few battles and scary things here and there. They're not too thinly spread, but at the same time, when I said this was a lot like Steins Gate, where it's pretty damn slow, I wasn't kidding. They spend an absolute ton of time between actual battles. Like, that 5.5 hours, the battle that we're about to do at the 5.5 hour mark is the 5th battle in the story, I think. And I'm somewhat sure that the game has something like 20 battles, because I appear to be getting a trophy every single time I win one of the battles. So I'm going to assume that's how many this game has. And the thing is, this game is actually part of the duology. There's a sequel game to this coming out in a few months after this one. So hopefully I'll be able to find the time to finish off this one before that one comes along, and I can have a look at it with a, well, with a fresh pair of eyes. But there you go. As for the characters that you run into during these 5 hours, you actually run into a lot. The reason why I picked this cutscene is because it actually shows off a fair few of them. There's like there's like 8 characters in this cutscene, and there's a bunch of more unique ones that come up between now and the 5.5 hour mark, and they've all got unique voices, and the writing is actually really damn good as well. The translation's been really well done, and it's just a surprisingly diverse cast of characters. It's just fun to listen to, especially the fact that everyone is bloody like cat people. It's a bit odd. Like, you've seen Kuon's design on screen a few times, and is that sort of design where you just want to reach over and scratch it behind the ear. It's weird. I don't know what it is that brings that up, but that's just how it works. So, as I said, the writing itself is actually pretty damn good. Every character feels diverse and unique. It doesn't feel like they're all speaking with the same character voice, which is a problem that some games have. I'm pretty sure Revenant Saga would have fallen under that. I didn't really think of that argument at the time, but yeah, all the characters do feel significantly different, especially Mororo. Like, he is a god. He is a god of being one of the most awkward bloody characters I have ever seen in a visual novel, despite the fact that I haven't really seen that many visual novels, but we'll ignore that and continue on. But yeah, the characters are all really the characters are all really different, and that's nice. You never know what to expect from someone who's just shown up, and it's kind of nice actually. Not many of them follow the typical sort of tropes you would see in your general slice of life anime, which is nice. And the world itself is actually really let me try it again. Really well presented too. Like, these CGs here are really good. The character art is great. They don't actually have that much animation on them, which is a little bit disappointing. But the actual CG itself is quite lovely. They've done a really good job with making it feel relatively consistent and giving it just a nice worldly feel. And the same thing with the music too, if you were listening to the music in the background. Fun fact about the music in this game, it was recorded in the same studio that recorded all the Beatles albums. Or at least some of them. I'm not entirely sure on that, but Abbey Road Studios, they did some stuff for the Beatles and a bunch of other bands too, so yeah, that was a little bit of a weird fact. I think they actually pointed that out in the PR press release they sent out. But yeah, it's really well crafted. It feels really well done. It feels like a professional work, and it's surprisingly enjoyable, even though it is slower than a wet week. And I really do need to just put a big fat spotlight onto that. It is a ridiculously slow game. This is one of the most exciting cutscenes in the entire game, and again, the game's been going for 5 hours, and this isn't very exciting, so that's just what happens. And the visual novel segments, as I said, between all the areas are really long and don't have that much variety in them. It really is just sitting and reading and watching. I mean, it's a visual novel. What do you expect? They do try and twist it up in some ways by giving you like choices on where to go first, but you'll just have to go through all the choices before it lets you move on anyway, more or less. It's not like it really matters. As far as I can tell, this is pretty much a single route. There's no major decisions you need to make, and I'd feel bad for them if they had major decisions they needed to make before they made the second bloody game. So yeah, that would be bad. We all know how badly Mass Effect took the arrow to the knee. That's an old meme that nobody cares about anymore. But yeah, it's really well done, but it's really freaking slow. And how does it fill time between all of the battles and all the interesting stuff? It gives you slice of life, and the slice of life is pretty basic. That's kind of the biggest problem I've got with this game's storytelling at the moment. It's surprisingly basic stuff, and of course, it's Japanese slice of life visual novel, so there's at least 1 or 2 nude scenes. Actually, no, how many are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 5, I think, at this point? They kind of overplay that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start skipping, because if I don't start skipping, I'm going to run out of stuff to say. Like, look at how much text is... Okay, here we are. This is where I was skipping to. Jesus, that was fast. But yeah, this is what the 3D looks like. We'll be seeing some more of this in the battle later on. I'll hit auto again, because this is just a cutscene, and there is more voices here to listen to. And the 3D is... Whoop, auto wasn't turned on, never mind. But yeah, the 3D in this game actually does look pretty damn good as well. Like, look at that. I mean, I know it's a small area and it doesn't really scroll or anything like that, but That is some really nice looking 3D. They've done a good job making it nice and stylish without going too overboard. The entire game is a bit subdued. It is a fair bit like, pretty generic fantasy novel sort of thing going on. Japanese fantasy visual novel thing going on, but at the same time, it adds a lot of detail. Like, for example, if I just hit start right now, I can go to the glossary, and you can see that there is a glossary of people, creatures, the culture, and the lifestyle, and you can read all this. It'll show you all this, and it's all here in case you need it. I would have liked it better if it was like Steins Gate, where if there was a new word that showed up on the screen, you could press a button and immediately see the encyclopedia entry on the screen, but it's not that big of a deal, not in the grand scheme of things. You can save and load almost everywhere you want. There are some places you can't save, like directly after battle before you get to the results screen. That's generally the point where you can't save. Everywhere else, you can save. And there's a couple of other things too, but I'm going to wait until I get to the actual battle scene about that. I'm just going to skip forward a little more, just so you can see some actual animations going on. There's Mororo. I love his war. That is a fantastic war. Mororo is an absolutely wonderful character. I do not know why I like him so much. Hang on, I'm going to skip a bit more. Okay, here we go. This is what I was waiting for. So I'm just going to let the rest of this play out. They've done a really good job on the storytelling, though. Despite the fact that it's a relatively basic thing going on, not much is happening in the way of action or drama or suspense, which apparently does pick up later on if the reviews on my anime list are to be believed. It does a really good job at the storytelling and the world building, and it does feel like playing Steins Gate again, where they took the effort to make a real believable world, even though the real believable world was indeed our world. But you get what I mean. They added a lot of detail. They gave you a lot of encyclopedia entries, a lot of references to things, a lot of just things going on in the background that made it more interesting to just generally watch, like a general show that's on the build-up. And this is exactly what this game feels like. Why didn't I wait longer to get to like the really juicy bits though? Well, I've been playing for 5.5 hours, and the problem is, if I want to get this video out by the time the first embargo breaks, I am going to I am doing it right now. I am stopping and talking about the game right now, for the first 5 hours at least, because I do not have time. I have no more time. If I don't start on Akiba's beat, I'm going to run out of time. I'm going to completely run out of time, and it's going to frustrate the hell out of me. I have so many bloody things left to do. But yeah, that was a look at the... It's funny, Haku only gets CG when these 3D cutscenes happen. I'm not entirely sure what that is. That might be a bug. But yeah, if I don't get this out, more or less, if I don't get this done, more or less now, I'm basically not going to be able to get it out before the first embargo. And, well, I've played enough of it. I really do think I've got a good grasp on what it is, and I do want to keep playing it. It's interesting. It is a very interesting, at least in the story side of things. We're going to get to the battle side of things in a moment. And then we will... what? I don't know my words anymore. Let's just go and load into the battle side of things now, because the battle side of things are where things get... well, not so much really interesting, or even interesting, but we'll get into why that is shortly. So this is stage 5. I was told that the first embargo can't go beyond stage 11, but it's like, Jesus, I'm on stage 5, 5.5 hours in. I'm not going to be able to get to stage 9 or 10 or whatever. So, there we go. So here we are in the battle setup. You can pick characters to come along with you, but sometimes there are some that are just stuck in the battle no matter what you do. You have... these are the 2 DLC characters, Tamaki and Sasara. I haven't actually been leveling these 2 up because it felt a bit overpowered to be bringing them in, but now they have absolutely, like, no chance of leveling up or anything whatsoever at this point, because all my other team is at level 6 or 7. These 2 would probably just get wiped out in one shot. If I hit the start button, we can head into the inventory real quick, and we can see all our stuff. Unfortunately, you can't actually equip any of this stuff here, which is kind of annoying. I'm not entirely sure what the deal is with that. You have to actually do it through the character menu back out there. You have BP allocation. Now, the way this game works is that anytime anyone deals damage, it doesn't matter how much damage they do, and it doesn't matter, like, what level they are. Well, it might matter depending on... If the enemy is stronger, you'll get more experience. If the enemy is weaker, you'll get less experience. And using this experience, you level up, and you also get BP, and BP is what you spend to level up your stats. So, as you can see, it would cost me 10 BP to level up Haku's defense. It'll cost me 20 to level up his HP. You get the idea. It's very basic, and you unlock abilities and stuff as you go on. So you don't have to worry about anything like that. You can also change the difficulty. The game does ask you if you want to play on normal or hard. I'm going to keep it on normal just so I don't make any major mistakes and get myself killed. But normal is actually really easy. It's kind of strange. It's surprisingly simple, and we'll get into why that is shortly, but you can come here and change it to hard anytime you like, which is nice. You can also come to free battle anytime you're about to do a battle, so if you need to go back and like train your units so that if someone's been underpowered but you really need them for a specific fight, you can come here and just run through some of the old battles and just play them through, get the experience, and head on back. And you can even choose a different difficulty here as well, and you can see how much of a difference it makes to the different battles if you have them on hard or normal. Not that much of a difference, but at the same time, this game doesn't have anything in the way of, like, consumables or anything like that. It's literally just, like, skills and a zeal meter that you build up over time. So you can't really just go, like, buying a ton of health potions and then just going on through. Because it does have to be a visual novel first and foremost, so the strategy side of things kind of got a bit of a kick up the arse. And you've got the glossary, what the fuck is a glossary? A glossary and settings here as always, and on the right you can actually see the ethereal chart. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It basically just tells you what the elemental alignment is, depending on the time of day or whatever, or just other relevant factors. It'll change how effective some elements are against others. It's a neat idea, actually. As you can see, there's a bunch of different elements here. Haku apparently has no element, but then we got earth and wind and water, you know. Pretty basic stuff. So we can check the map here, and we do get a full, well, more or less fully controllable 3D camera, although we only can tilt it like 90 degrees, but yep, it's all here. It's all here, it's all nice. You can see that we got advantages against some and disadvantage against others, and Jesus, look at that, level 10. And this guy is level 7, and this guy's level 6. Alright. We should be okay. Now, if you hit square, you get to come to this, and this is the equipment screen. Well, not the equipment screen, it's the, just the character screen, the unit info screen. And you can switch the order of the list, so, you know, you can see who has the most zeal, who has the most HP, yada yada yada. And you can also press the square button to go over to their abilities. You can see their skills, their attack chains, which do different things. And you can also see the state, which has there's like extra defense and a morale boost from Haku. Haku has an ability that does that. And you can also come to equip stuff. At the end of every battle, you get a bunch of new items, and these items will give you a bunch of things. Like, you can see just the details over there on the right, and that just gives you a rough idea of what they do. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's go fight. Combat tutorial added to the glossary. That's actually kind of funny, because, I know I'm actually not actually trying to fight here, but the thing is, with the glossary, when it says that, this battle system is actually relatively simple. So, as you can see, like, they just add the tutorials to your encyclopedia, and they're like, oh, you can... Oh, this battle system is so simple, we don't even have to force you to go through the tutorial. You can literally just skip it and go straight to the fights if you want, and that's kind of nice. It's not that easy, but it's fairly easy. So, let's give this a shot. Can I hit... Oh, I can hit him from here. Okay, so, very basic stuff. You can see the turn order on the right there, and if you're in range, you can attack. And attack chains work like this. There are a couple of things to do. You have these attack chains, and the attack chains are basically just like lines of attacks in a row, more or less. I know that's kind of a bad description, but The idea is that you have these attacks, they happen in a particular order, and you can do criticals by timing your X button press on there, or you can just ignore it. You can also do auto chains, but auto chains don't let you get criticals. So that's kind of an issue. Right, this guy's a mage. I can't attack anybody who's too close, so I better keep him out of the damn way. I haven't actually used this character yet. He's brand new to the plot so far, so I think I will... Oh, I can't do this after I move. Okay. Alright, I will hit him then, from here, with a big bow. And 126 damage, holy shit, okay. Well, yeah, he's dead. And as you can see, you get XP every time, and we can just choose to wait here instead of actually making a move. I will move Kuon up and get her to attack, because she's not very useful in the back. Attack chains can do particular things. They can do things like do status effects. They can I gotta admit, the battle system isn't very well fleshed out right now. It has taken a while for it to really expose everything, but yeah, you even get little voice lines there, which is kind of neat. Right, he can't attack from there, so I'm just gonna wait and take some damage, unfortunately. Not much I can do about that. But yeah, the battle system really hasn't come into its own yet. There's a bunch of things that you can do, but it's nothing particularly... Oh, God. There's nothing particularly that's hard to understand about it. It's just very simple, more or less, right? You move to a place, you attack, you try and take it into account alignment bonuses, whatever the hell you want to call them, and other things like that. Can I, oh, I can actually heal her, can't I? Yes. Here's the second kind of, healing, by the way. The second kind of attack thing, by the way. It's a circle, you press X when the circle's full up, and that's pretty much it. And if you manage to do, like, the criticals, you move on to the rest of the attack chain. There are a couple of other things, too, that are in there. Like, you've got the ability to get Zeal, and Zeal is used for certain skills. I haven't actually come across an attack that uses Zeal just yet, but when you get full up on Zeal, you get an extra turn, which I'm about to do right now. So I get to go again. I also believe I think I get some stat increases, but I might be wrong about that. But still, getting an extra turn is nothing to be snide at. So yeah, there we go. He's dead. It is a very simple battle system, but it's still relatively engaging. Oh, hey! Nice. I get a new attack chain. It is a very simple system, though. This isn't going to... The Disgaea fans are not going to be very engaged with this one, I tell you that much. It's... How do I put this? As I said before, the strategy system just kind of has to take into account the fact that you have to... Brain work with me here. The strategy system has to take into account that you are playing a visual novel, so you can't go too far out of your way to do anything in particular, because if you do, that means it's going to turn in more of a game than a visual novel. And there are a couple of other things that the game does let you do to more or less counter this, and I will tell you about that shortly, once I get this attack out of the way. So, if I hit next, won't be my turn, will it? No, he's just running away. Of course he is. The cheeky bastard. Yes, yes, I understand. And if I hit next, then now I should be able to... There it is, rewind. So, you can actually rewind up to 30 turns. I'm not even kidding. The game doesn't have anything in the way of luck, so... Everything will happen in a specific way if it's set up in a specific way. So you can literally rewind time and start the entire battle again if you feel like it, if you make a mistake. Of course, you do have the ability to retry and suspend as well, but yeah, just considering... Yeah, it's just weird. Like, I don't mean to say it's a bad system, far from it. It's perfectly capable. I actually, this is from the people who made... Oh. That's a self-heal. Whoops. I can rewind that, though. So I can actually Yep, I can rewind to turn 30, and I can rewind even further, which is that was actually a really good demonstration. Okay, I need to heal him, but I can't do it after I move. Bugging me sideways. All right. It's not a bad battle system, not even close, right? It's just lightweight. It's something that people who are used to the Disgaias and the Tactics Ogres of the world are probably not going to find any pleasure in whatsoever. It's not going to be very nice for them in general, right? Oh dear. No, I can't actually hit anyone from here. Oh, can I? Oh, not after moving. Bollocks. Right. I'll move him down here instead. He hasn't taken much damage, so he'll be alright. I need to move her right the hell away before anyone gets the chance to attack her. Even if she just stands... Well... Right, yeah, Nekane is gonna... No, she's not gonna get to go before someone else gets the opportunity. I don't want her dying, so I'll just let her wait here. It's a very simple system from what I've played of it, and... I mean, it does get more interesting later on, right? It doesn't stay very simple, and again, there are 20 battles throughout the entire game at the very least, so... I just don't think that... Oh, nice. I just don't think that it's a game that I would recommend to strategy people, although... With how simple it is, the fact that you can rewind your turns if you make a mistake, and just... What the... The idle animations just amuse me. But with the idea that it's a very simple system... Right, well, I put a defense up, but I didn't actually heal her. That's unfortunate. Right. You are going to stand in the way to make sure nobody gets even close to her. There is also this whole zone of control system that I did forget to mention, where basically you can enact certain abilities and it just prevents your people from moving past or their people from moving past. Depending on how you want to go about it, you're just going to have to stand there. So are you. Haku's going to move up and get the attack in. But if you're looking for something that's like a, if you're looking for something that's just like a lightweight strategy game to start off with, that would be interesting. Oh, he gets an extra turn because the zeal filled up. That's nice. And I mean, there is the hard difficulty, and the hard difficulty might actually make things challenging, but at the same time, you saw how in the first two battles, at the very least, all it did was add a couple of monsters. It might make them stronger. Like, no argument that it will probably make them stronger now I think about it. But yeah, I just figure it would be worth mentioning that you may not find this to be very interesting or deep. It has mechanics, and it is an interesting battle system. It also has that annoying thing where it just doesn't show up enough. Oh, bugging me, I've done it again. Right, no. Okay. Rewind. Back to, no, rewind to turn 50. There, now we can heal her up. Much better. Yeah, I missed the press again because of course I did. You can rewind and try it again though, with basically no penalty, which is kind of nice. Oh, water's favor, so I get to do it again. I might as well do it again, and I immediately fuck it up again. I don't... You know what? Screw it. You're not getting healed. My incompetence has resulted in you not getting healed any further than you already are. I'm so sorry. I like it. I like what I've played. The thing about liking what I've played is that I feel like I haven't played enough, despite the fact I've played 5 hours of this bloody game. And I like what I've seen. The battle system is simple, but it's capable, and the visual novel stuff is really well made and designed and all that. And we are going to just hit the start button now and go back to the title screen just so you don't get any spoilers, because I haven't seen past that point in the game. But I like what I've played. The visual novel stuff is really well built, despite the fact that it's a bit slow and a bit, well, slice of lifey, which I know some people are really against. And the strategy system is lightweight, but has enough mechanics to at least stay somewhat interesting, and it is still somewhat a challenge, even though I would recommend, if you're even remotely skilled in strategy games, you should probably put it on hard as soon as you start the freaking game. But other than that, based on the first 5 hours alone, I don't know whether or not to recommend it, just purely because of how bloody slow it is. But at the same time, it is good. Like, I can't find any major, like, game breakers that I would say are a problem with Utawarerumono Mask of Deception. And if you want to take that as a recommendation, like, I've played the first 5 hours and have found nothing that I can really complain about, except the pacing on a 30 to 40 hour visual novel that has a sequel coming out, which is a direct continuation. Then go ahead and buy it. That if you want to take that as a recommendation, by all means. I want to keep playing it though, and if I do, I will probably do a follow-up video, maybe, depending on whether or not I'll actually have the time to bloody play it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. You've been sitting here for the past 42 minutes. I hope you have an idea that I actually like what I've played here. So there you go. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.